Hello everyone, I'm Chris Erkley. Welcome to your Week 7 edition of the HS Game Time U PickEm Show. To my left, Mr. 15-0 himself, Kyle Glazer.
Not yet, still working on it.
Still working on it. Well, what were you this past week?
10 of 15. So okay week, but not as good as I was hoping for.
There's a couple big shakeups last week for sure. One guy who wasn't fazed by it, though, was our champ from last week, Ruben Avila from Riverside. He had 14 out of 15, given how crazy the past week was. A tip of the cap over there to Mr. Avila. Now a game that definitely has a lot of people talking this week as far as pick'em shakeup is Norte Vista and Moreno Valley. Right now, 54% taking Moreno Valley by a whopping score of 21-20. Kyle, do you feel confident in your pick?
You know, I am picking Norte Vista here. They're the defending league champ. You'll remember last year they had a thriller with Moreno Valley to basically win the River Valley League. I like the way the Braves are playing under Ken Batdorf. They're averaging over 200 rushing yards a game. They're averaging over 100 passing yards a game. They have weapons that can hurt you a number of different ways, offensively. Defensively, they've got some big playmakers averaging, 10-plus tackles a game. I just think that Norte Vista has too many playmakers on both sides of the ball. Moreno Valley is a good team. I think Norte Vista is the better team, and that's why I'm picking the Braves.
Now let's talk about a Southwest shootout. We've got Vista, Murrieta, and Great Oak. Great Oak has made some statements this year. They beat Heritage. They beat Rancho Verde last week. They beat Murrieta Valley at Murrieta Valley. Everyone knows, though, if you're going to win out there and call yourself a king, you have to beat Vista Murrieta. Is it possible? 96% say no.
It's possible. Look, Great Oak has been a giant killer. You just listed off all the teams they've beaten. They entered all those games considered not just the underdog, but probably a heavy underdog. So I think Great Oak has shown that they can hang with big teams. That said, Vista Murrieta is not one of the best teams. They are the best team in the inland area, in my opinion. You also have Vista Murrieta just has more skill position players than any team Great Oak has faced. I'm going to pick the Broncos. I just don't see Vista Murrieta losing a game in Southwestern League play, and that's why I'm sticking with them. But give Great Oak a lot of credit. They've shown they can beat those big teams, and if Vista Murrieta is not on their A game, Great Oak is capable of pulling it off. That said, I'm going with Colton Gerhart and the Broncos.
Now, Kyle, time for a game that you will be out at on Friday night. It's Rev and Yucaipa, a game that should have big impact on who the league champ could be. 90% right now taking Rev. What do you think?
Redlands East Valley, they've won at least a share of the last 4 Citrus Belt League titles. Every year, they're either 4-1 or 5-0. Yucaipa is a good team. They've got talent. We mentioned Brandon Scott, the wide receiver, is approaching some inland area receiving records. But I can't pick against Redlands East Valley in Citrus Belt League play. It goes back to that whole thing of I don't feel comfortable picking against a team that's shown every year for multiple years that they're the favorite to win it. Yucaipa, once again, they have the talent, with Eric Abrams in the backfield. They also have some good linebackers, and Ben Perez leading that group. But Armando Herrera has been really good for Redlands East Valley, the freshman in his first 2 starts. I think he's going to get another Citrus Belt League win under his belt, and the Wildcats will be 2-0 in league play.
Moving over to the Big 8, we've got Norco and Roosevelt, 2 teams that lost last week but played very tough against very good competition right now. 77% taking Norco. Kyle, do you agree?
This is one of those games that all morning I've been going back and forth on trying to pick. I'm going to pick the Mustangs here. I think I saw Norco last week. They were very game against Centennial, but also took them a little bit too long to sort of get the offense going. They've shown that they have the athleticism and playmakers, and Corey Young and Victor Viramontes had a great game. That said, I still think Roosevelt. I like the makeup of the team a little better. I think that there's a few more playmakers on the outside. I think they match up well against Norco. I think especially if Mustangs hold on to the ball, which I think they're very capable of with Joseph Muriel leading that offense. I just think that they'll have more opportunities to score, and at the end of the day, I think that Roosevelt will win the football game.
Moving down the 215, we've got Temescal, Canyon, and Heritage coming up on Friday. Right now, 96% taking Heritage. Heritage, always very impressive. But we do know a few of their players had to sit out of the game last week. Could that be a factor?
It's possible. I'm actually more interested in Temescal Canyon because they started the season 0-3. Then they got their quarterback, Sean Trimble, back. He decided not to play, and then he eventually came back. Since he returned, they're 3-0. Now, a couple of those wins came against teams like West Valley and Lakeside, who aren't very good. So we're not really sure how good Temescal Canyon is. This will be a very good barometer for them. They get to play Heritage, Paloma Valley, and Elsinore back-to-back starting this week. Heritage, they're always the favorite to win the Sun Belt League, and that's no different this year. That's why I am picking the Patriots to win this one. But it's going to be interesting to see just how competitive Temescal Canyon is. Once again, Patriot, I think, even with those players sitting out, there's just such a winning tradition there, and there's so much talent, and the coaching staff is so on point. I can't see the Patriots losing to a Sun Belt League opponent, save for maybe Paloma Valley.
All right, Kyle. Well, if you want to see Kyle out there, he will be at the Rev Yucaipa game on Friday night.
Yes,
Kyle,
I
know
will.
You said Pep's the big name, but several people have emailed asking if you will be signing headshots on Friday night.
Sure, why not?
$10?
I'll go $5. I'm a nice guy.
Half off Fridays. All right, Kyle, thanks for joining us. That does it for your Week 7 edition of the HS Game Time You PickEm Show. Be sure to get those picks in by 5 p.m. on Friday night. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you out there on Friday.